Thanks, Alex. The second risk is about produced water. So it's that water that's stored and managed at the surface. And produced water is naturally high in dissolved salts and metals. As we discussed before, these systems are deep and they have quite saline and water. And there's also naturally occurring hydrocarbons from the coal seams in these waters. So the water needs to be treated properly at the surface to protect these shallow systems, shallow groundwater systems and surface waters. So the management of produced water, it's critical to understand the quality of that produced water, which is why the companies take the detailed sampling and the volumes that we're dealing with to work out the optimal strategy for each project.
Options for management of produced water will depend on many factors, including the quality of water, the volume, treatment, byproducts and cost. The management is regulated under the EP&A Act, Development Approval Conditions and Environmental Protection Licences. Again, New South Wales regulations are strict. Evaporation pond disposal is no longer permitted, and there are stringent controls around discharges to streams even if the water is treated. Water and environmental plans must be prepared and approved in advance, and incident reporting must occur during operations. Ongoing monitoring and reporting is also required.
So now we have a look at some of the gaps. Now some of the gaps have been looked at by Chief Scientist and Engineer, New South Wales Chief Scientist and Engineer and the Commonwealth Government through the ISEC, Independent Expert Scientific Committee, and these are well documented on the internet. There's a lot of reports out there looking at gaps, and we've also picked up some of those gaps in the project. So what's been said? So Office of the Chief Scientist and Engineer and the Commonwealth Independent Expert Scientific Committee have come up with some gaps, and they're fairly similar in some of the gaps that they've picked. Cumulative impacts is a big one that they've looked at. Hydraulic connectivity between these systems. So that is between shallow and deep groundwater and also surface water and groundwater. So making sure that we've really got some answers to some of those questions with these projects. Understanding of the geology and hydrogeology. So this is looking at local and regional scale. Do we really understand our systems? Bore integrity, which Alex covered a lot of that. And the management of the produced water is probably the other point on that slide to note. So information gaps, what's being done? So there is quite a lot of work in this space.
Firstly, to address gaps in monitoring data within porous rock systems, the New South Wales Office of Water is in the process of installing new groundwater monitoring bores in key strategic areas of interest for coal seam gas exploration in New South Wales. Secondly, the bioregional assessment process is being undertaken by the Commonwealth Government, and the Gunnedah Basin is a priority area under this program. This program is looking at water as well as other environmental and social aspects. And the third dot point here is when considering water quantity impacts at the water source scale, the New South Wales water sharing plans play a crucial role. These planning processes assess and establish the extraction limit for each groundwater system, and these statutory limits in effect manage the cumulative impact of all water extraction at a regional water source scale. There are also projects under the Independent Expert Scientific Committee, the CSIRO, CRC for Mining, Australian Coal Research and others.
So a little bit of a summary from the presentation.
Regionally, groundwater take is small compared to sustainable limits and existing rights. Water level monitoring is good in beneficial alluvial groundwater systems, and comprehensive long-term regional water quality baseline data is generally quite poor. Notwithstanding the regional impacts, local impact analysis must be undertaken in detail by companies, and the essential key aspects for any impact assessment are analysis of the volume of water extracted by coal seam gas, consideration of the proximity of users, both extractive and environmental, to coal seam gas activities, depth of the coal seam gas activity compared to the depth of the beneficial groundwater systems, the geological model, hydraulic connection, both vertically and horizontally, well integrity and management of produced water. Regulation of the coal seam gas industry is now quite stringent compared to other industries and other states, and includes environmental impact assessment and project approval conditions, licences under various acts, groundwater monitoring and modelling musts, mandatory periodic and incident reporting, well integrity and compliance standards and regulation, produced water management, use, disposal, monitoring. Thanks for listening, and for more information, check out the New South Wales Government Office of Coal Seam Gas website.